Hello, my friends. Today's date is February the 18th, and this is a birthday reading for you for this year, if this is your birthday, of course. And this is a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is the general energy card of the year, the animal. So this is a year that's asking you to remember that you're a vibrant, pulsing with blood and pulsing with energy animal. That we are animals. We have the heritage to say that we have our old animal stuff still going on inside of us. We have the animal instincts in a lot of ways that are inside of us. We have the animal reactions to things that know when there's danger, that knows when there's something that's attracting to it, that knows when it needs to run and fight and freeze. But we forget about those things. We have the animal body that needs to be exercised, that needs to have good food, that needs to be out in nature, that needs to be romping and playing and dancing in the wilds of itself, and needs to be active and needs to be in touch with. And the animal says, you can't forget I'm here, or else you become pent up. You can't forget that the animal is inside of you, or else you become angry and resentful and pent up, and might reach out with some kind of anger or violence. When you recognize the animal, do you recognize then its power and its vitality and its strength and its needs? And it is there for you to help you. It is there for you to take you forward and carry you forward with strength and direction. And to tap into that vitality is to balance your body. If you're too much in your head, you need to be in your physical body to balance the energies. If you're too much in your emotions and you're feeling, swamped up and down, you need to be in your physical body to understand which of those emotions are holding you, or dragging you, or sucking you down, or making you react. And you need to understand your body in the deepest of ways, because if you're out of touch with your body, then you're out of touch with your health, and you're out of touch with your mind on a lot of levels, because your mind is just going to yakety, yakety, yakety all the time at you. So the animal often says, get away from cities, get away from cell phones, get away from people, get away from cement, get back into your body, into your nature, into the world, into your dance, into your physicality, into your sexuality, into your sensuality, just into your vitality again. And you have to do something toward that. This is a particular challenge that you have February the 18th, folks. It is the Seven of Wands. Something is weighing down on you this year. Something comes in to make you stand up for your fire, stand up for your will, stand up for your choices, and there's a sense of somebody confronting you, somebody attacking you, somebody, lots of people having different various reactions to you, from boredom to enthusiasm to anger to resentment, and you have to stand up in your own sense of your own principles and your own beliefs and your own power and your own fire. But that's your challenge, to stand up for yourself, to stand up in your own fire, to stand up in your own beliefs, and not shy away from something, even if you're the only one that believes it. If you feel it, if you believe it into your core, then you have to pull your animal part of yourself up to say, no, this is my strength. This is not my weakness to believe this. This is my strength. And I'm going to draw my power forward to be able to stand up in my fire, in my passion, in my vitality, and in my truth, to tell the truth, to stand with my willpower, to stand with my fire, to stand with my action, and connect it into the highest sense of myself. Now, this is a challenging time. This is a squeezing time. This is, this is sevens are often about fathers and authority and structures that tighten, and something that needs to possibly give so something else can come in. But the sevens are often about standing up to face that that fire, that challenge from outside of yourself, and maybe it's a challenge inside of yourself that says, I'm afraid to go forward with what I believe I need to do, and you're fighting an internal battle with your own sense of your own father inside of your head, or whoever was the strong one, father, mother, whoever was the strong example that said, no, you shouldn't, you can't, you won't, that's bad, that's wrong. So you're up against that, and you're, on some level. It's asking you to not give into your fear of it, or your woundedness of it. So what do you have to do to stay balanced? Well, it's armadillo. Armadillo is setting really clean, good boundaries. Look at that beautiful shell that protects the armadillo. It's really tough to crunch into that sucker. It's really tough if you're a carnivore and you want to have a piece of armadillo for lunch. It's really tough. So you're going to fight an armored tank. You're going to stand up against, an armored tank. What are you going to do? Bite it with your little jaws and try to break through that bone? Maybe if you're big enough, you can do that. But most creatures don't take armadillo. So this is about setting really clean, powerful boundaries. What are you willing? Draw a circle around yourself and say, "What? I'm only willing to have these things inside my circle." Draw another circle a little wider and say, "I'm willing to have this kind of stuff happen in my circle, but I need to be aware of it, and I need to be working with it." And then there's another line outside that says, on the other side of that line, I'm not willing to have this kind of stuff happen in my life. You can't do that to me. You won't do that to me, and I don't allow you to do that to me. And I'm setting clear, clean boundaries that say, no. I am stepping up for myself, and I'm not letting you abuse me. I'm not letting you hurt me. I'm not letting you talk bad to me. I'm not letting you take me into situations and directions that I don't want to go. And I'm calling forth my inner animal to protect me, to honor me, and to be alive in me, and to know when it's time to set the right boundaries. When it's time to set the right boundaries that say, no, you can't do this to me anymore. No, I'm not allowing this. So in this is the outcome or synopsis card. And this card always, to me, points to, the wounded child that we almost all of us carry. We've been wounded because we came in bright and full of light and full of inquisitiveness, and quickly do we become locked into our family's ways of doing things, and our school's way of doing things, and our clan's way of doing things, and our church's way of doing things, and our country's way of doing things, and do we become locked into these little boxes of how you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. And that leads to a lot of feelings of resentment and stuckness and blocked in and boundaried that aren't necessarily your truth, that aren't necessarily your authenticity. So this is a card that says you're working on old stuff that came from when you were probably a child, mothers or fathers who were very demanding, demeaning, maybe intrusive upon your own self sovereignty, and didn't allow you to have your dreams, your thoughts, your visions, and your working. So there's an anger, there's a frustration, there's a fear, there's a cowering, but yet there's a beautiful rainbow light that says, don't despair, don't distrust. Open yourself up, stand yourself up, put your boundaries on, and walk forward with the animal passion that you are. Here it is again. Walk forward with the animal passion that you are. Open your eyes to that power that you hold, and live that power, live that vitality, live that strength, and live that dream. And don't allow the negativity of others, or the abuse of others, or the people who cross your boundaries to do that anymore. To the biggest effect that you can have, some things you can't stop, but most things you can. And you can have a really clear boundary, but you have to use your voice. You have to roar like an animal. You have to protect yourself like an armadillo, and you have to roar like that animal, and you have to be strong and stand up for yourself. And then the animal shakes things off. And until you can learn to shake things off and let it go, and that's just part of life, and move away and move ahead without the fear of projections of what might happen next. That animal, most animals, when they're hurt, or they're attacked, if they get out of it alive, they're going to shake everything out so they can let go of all that trauma and all that pain and all that projection so they can move forward. So this is another sense of the animal coming out in you this year to shake things off. Look, don't be bound like this person. Don't be bound down and stuck and angry and resentful. I mean, if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. That's good. But it's asking you to do something more. It's asking you to stand up. It's asking you to break out. It's asking you to be proud, be powerful, be in your body, and do those clear boundary settings. Aho.